Hey loves, happy Sunday. This is Cozy Convos, video 4. Your trauma is not your personality. You are more than what happened. You are more than what happened. Trauma shapes patterns, not identity. Your trauma is shaping your patterns, how you might react, how you might feel if you break down crying, how you lash or get angry or snap at someone. It's shaping your patterns. Maybe you're inconsistent. You can't stay consistent on one thing. You start something, then stop. You don't believe in yourself because of your past traumas. It's not your identity. We all have experienced some type of trauma, usually when we're younger, through childhood. But sometimes when we're older too, by certain people or things or experiences. But remember that this is not your identity. It is just because of a pattern that is happening that is caused from your trauma. But this can be solved just by changing your patterns. Number 2, awareness brings freedom. Healing separates you from survival. Your healing will separate you from your survival. So the need to live like you're suffering in silence, people aren't there for you, you don't have the friends that are there for you, you don't have the family that's there for you. Something is not allowing you to fully heal, but the fact that you're aware like that you need healing or something bad happened and it's still coming up in your life is what's going to help you to release and break this cycle. Sometimes we don't have people that are going to be there to listen. Even if you love them, they don't listen to you. Or if you do try to speak to them, they just say, oh, like, well, then you shouldn't have done this, or it was your fault, or like, did that really happen? Like, they will literally question you and test you on whether or not something happened. And so how can you ever heal from a past trauma, a lover, something that intense that happened to you at work, through life, even in your past from your parents? Like, whoever caused pain to you in some way through growing up, through your adult years, if you try to communicate, sometimes people will literally not like allow you to heal. They will literally make you feel crazy. And this is not like an unnormal thing. I think sometimes people are so in denial, or they just want everything to be okay in that present moment because they're being selfish, whether they know that or not. And that is not your fault. And so you just need to remove yourself. Never talk to this person again about sad things or intense things. They can still be your friend or your family member or something, but you cannot give any vulnerability or talk to them about anything unless you have a conversation about how they're talking. But some people are just this way, and they're just not, there's better people to talk to about these things than other people, and that's just their character and what they've learned. And some people are just not good at like communication with healing other people. They're just not healers. So we need to be aware of our, ourselves and how we're reacting, how we can realize, oh, like, I think I'm maybe not over this experience. It's been, a time has passed, but because I'm reacting in this way, I feel like I need to dissect this more. You guys can do meditation with yourself, be alone. You can journal, grab a notepad and a pen and just start journaling. Ask yourself questions, answer them, just write things down and dissect yourself. You don't always need to have another person there for you to heal. I know there's therapy, there's someone you can go talk to. There's things out there that are resources that you can use to heal yourselves, but in reality, you know what happened to you, and you can heal yourself because you are the one that's making actual physical steps, movements throughout this life. You are choosing action steps, and you are talking and speaking and moving your body every single day. So you're the one that's going to change your life. You're the one that's going to heal yourself. Someone else can help you heal, right? Teach you the tools or allow a space for you to talk in a very like non-judgmental way, like therapy. But in reality, if you have a piece of paper and pen and you work on yourself, or you lay down and meditate and observe your thoughts, you can get really deep. And also you can actually like heal yourself through experiencing people as well. Like as you talk to people and like listen and you like you like question them to see what they say and things come out of them, you can start to dissect people and understand like, oh, I'm getting closure and healing right now just by listening to you, how you speak, because it says more about you than me. And everything that you did to me wasn't really about me. It's about you. Like, you're the selfish one. So you don't have to actually say this. This is all in your mind. But you're actually healing yourself by experiencing life. It doesn't have to just be alone in your room either, meditation or in a therapist like setting. It can actually be you going out like a detective with a magnifying glass and figuring out like what happened to you, and try to get closure, you know. And if it doesn't, you can tell so much about another person more than yourself. So it's healing is in so many different ways you can heal yourself. There's so many tactics, but you find what works best for you, and it all starts with awareness. Number 3, you can respond differently now. So because you've done this work, when you respond to someone or something or some experience, how you communicate and release your words and release your heart and soul, you can actually respond differently now because you're healed. That's when you actually know that you shifted from healing and like you're still in the process of healing, right? You know, you're like, oh, I healed from this experience. Just because you healed from one doesn't mean you've healed from like 100 experiences that hurt you. So like, you know, it's slowly but surely we grow and grow. And as we get older, and sometimes if you hang around the wrong people or the wrong crowds or you're doing the wrong things, you will have to continue to heal the next thing and the next thing that life evolves. As we evolve, you'll have another thing that hurt you and you have to heal from that. And if you didn't heal from the last ones, you're just like trying to play catch up, and then you're always feeling like you're in the hole. Like you always feel like you're not happy because you're like being around people who are hurting you, and at the same time you have to heal the past, and there's just like not enough time in a day to like heal yourself. So make sure to be aware of who you're surrounding in the present moment. That's just an extra tip, so you're not like causing yourself to have more pain in serious situations that you have to heal from while you're in the healing process of everything of your past. And then now that you have healed, you can respond differently every single day moving forward. How you talk to people, how you show up, how you react, how you talk about uncomfortable things, how you speak your mind and your boundaries. Before, maybe you didn't have boundaries, so then you allowed them to hurt you because you didn't tell them not to do something, or that made you feel uncomfortable. So then it could have caused unhealed trauma, etc., etc. Number 4, safety allows new choices. Feeling safety in your space, in your home, in your environment, in your life, meaning you only invite safe energy and people to talk to you, to be in your space, to touch you, to hug you. Being around safety will have you making better choices and allowing you to choose things that will actually like make you so happy and at peace at the same time. So remember to have a safe environment, or have safe people around you that you actually can trust. And you'll see your life just slowly go upwards, and it just be so much more peaceful, so much more happy, and you'll feel like so much more yourself, like the best version of yourself, not the other versions that people want to get out of you to make them happy, like your true soul, your true being. Because in this world, if you're out and about too much and you're with so many energies that aren't good for you, they can start to rub off on you, and you'll start to act like someone you're not, and you lose yourself for a little there, and it's super uncomfortable. So just choose wisely and understand who you're around. Breathe into safety. Remember to breathe through life. In situations that are scary, being around people that are scary too, experiences that are just so uncomfortable, remember to breathe, breathe, breathe. Do not react. Remember, anything that happened in your past was your past. Something or someone didn't teach you something, so then you had trauma, didn't heal from it, and then became a person that reacted. That is not you. That was just your circumstances that led you to that experience, or it was literally your culture of your actual blood and DNA. For me, I'm Latina. It is part of our culture for certain things. I had to actually rewire my brain and heal my parents' trauma, my parents' trauma. Literally, my whole bloodline, I had to heal the trauma because all of it's in your DNA. And then you end up just naturally becoming that, whether you like it or not. So I had to rewire my brain because I'm not a normal Latin woman. Like, I have complete self-control, and I do not freak out or lash out the way that normal Latin women do. They get very emotional and get super loud. So I had to actually like rewire my brain based on my whole entire culture and genetic bloodline. So think about that always, and remember, before you speak or you react, after you've like obviously in the process of healing and now you're just moving forward in your new version, your new transformed, controlled, self-aware version of yourself, always remember to breathe, because even when you've healed yourself, like fully healed yourself and understand what was wrong with you before and what happened, you can still have an ability to get back there because you once were that, if that makes sense. Because it was so ingrained in your life until you get to like probably like 50s to like 100 years old. Then I would say the amount of years that you've lived on earth, for example, for me right now, I'm 25. When I healed myself, I was the beginning of the process, it was around 21. It's been like 4 or 5 years, but to be 2026. So it's been 4 or 5 years that I've been like on the process of healing and stopped everything that I was doing and transformed my life at 21. So because of that, technically I've like lived that lifestyle and the experiences that had a lot of hurt and back and forth and ups and downs like crazy from 21 all the way since I was younger. Hectic, hitting, abuse, screaming, the list goes on of experiences, trauma, friends, like cheating, the list goes, crazy things happened to me. This, almost died in the hospital. So everything from 21 and above was very tragic and just dark, and I should not be alive to this day. But from 21 and up, I changed my life. So when I get to like 50 right now, as you heal, because you've had so much intensity of living a certain way, I have to wait another like 21 years, if that makes sense, to where it's not even like in my possible like frontal of my brain, correct? So like around 45, 50 is when I for sure won't even have to think before I speak. So remember, when you change your life and you get out of that, you'll have like that, it's still gonna linger. Even if you healed yourself and you're like super aware and self-control, those thoughts, because it was so intense on your brain, they're hidden in there in your brain. The memories are in there. Even if they're not always there, like it's prevalent, right? So you can't control that until time is all that it takes for you to fully heal. So when you are in the process of healing, remember to breathe, because you might still, like your heart might beat. If someone is like crossed a boundary or doesn't know your boundary, like a random person that just tries to cross your boundary, you just met someone and they're just being obnoxious and they're pressing your boundary and you don't know them, that will still trigger your heart and soul, because it's so fresh from even if you're aware and you're healed, it's so fresh that you can't help but it's a boundary. They crossed it. And you don't know this person. It's not like you could tell that person to not cross your boundary. You just met them. You know what I mean? That's how life is. Sometimes there's just people that pop up in your life. If you're in the suburbs like me, it like rarely happens. But if you're in other places where it's like it's possible to happen, like the city and stuff, like you have more of a higher risk of, people they're pressing your boundaries. So because of that, remember to breathe, because that will save you so much. Like I can't explain to you. Especially if you're like, for me, it's been like 4 or 5 years now, but for people who are freshly like learning to like heal from any trauma and learning how to not react and not let others affect their energy, it's always just remember, when in doubt, breathe. Breathe. This will like lower your like cortisol, like it literally just lowers your whole like your vibration, because you're actually allowing oxygen to get into your lungs, which allows your chest to like get warm and elevated, and then it excels you. That's why we always practice this in yoga. I'm like, inhale, hold, exhale. The more we do this every single day for our fitness, the stronger our minds will get, or our mind, body, and soul will get. So this is just something to stay aware of. Chloe, she wants to go out. Go, Chloe, go. Go, Chloe. Okay. She's going to eat dinner. It's that time for her. Okay. I think my brother just got here, so she was peeking. That's what she wasn't sure, but my brother, he had his friend over, but his friend's not here. So I think she was scared to see if the other guy was here, but he wasn't. So that's why I was like, go, it's okay. Okay. Our last part is affirmations. Here are some affirmations for you to use throughout the week. I am not my trauma. I choose new patterns. I feel safe now. You are more. You are more than your trauma. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoy this. This is video 4, Cozy Convos. So much fun. I love talking about this because it's like, this is like how you evolve in life, how you become better and better, and how you grow as a person and just become happier and happier. If you were like me and didn't start like in a household that was like stable as fuck and just like parents that didn't have their full shit together all the way, if you were in that same experiences as me, where things weren't just perfect when you woke up in the morning and then went to school, then perfect for soccer practice, and then perfect when I'm like when life was kind of just like loud and abrupt, and then like you disappoint me, and just every single day it's like intensity, and then just feels like you're just like kind of suffering through growing up. If you've experienced this, then then this is one of our favorite topics to talk about, because we have so much to grow from. Other people were raised in different families who parents that did the work, so they didn't have to jump through those hoops. They don't have trauma like we do. So we had to start very young with the trauma, and then we had to continue as we got older to learn the other traumas of life and people like in the external world traumas. And so it's just a lot for us to experience. So talking about trauma is like, it's really fun for me because it reminds me of how far I've come from like dark moments of life, like not wanting to be on earth anymore because of how like sad I've been. And we have to remember that it all starts with our mindset. Like we talked about our mindset, how strong we are, and understanding and being self-aware of the healing, because it's not just like we didn't want this to happen to us, but we had to accept why it happened to us. Why did these things happen? For me, it was because my family, like my dad came up from a whole other country, and, you know, they lived a tougher life. They were always working. And so they kind of were stressed at each other. They had their own stresses. Their parents is worried, like just things of my grandparents, how they were raised. Like it's a trickle down effect. Like it's always gets better and better in your generations. It's supposed to, but it's still not perfect until some person, like for me, I decide I'm going to change my whole dynamic for my whole bloodline. One person usually is the strong one that does the work and is like, we're not repeating any of this. And that's going to be me. So, and I'm excited for you guys as well, because if you're here with this community, this will be you as well. You will be in the one in your community, in your family, in your bloodline that changes everything, that changes the way you speak to each other, changes the way that you love each other day in and day out, showing your best version, never allowing like reactions to like hurt or attack your children. Like you will move with like integrity and honesty and love and realness and calmness, peaceful, loving energy. And this is not what we saw growing up. And that's why we had trauma. So, and if it wasn't from our parents, it was from friends or experiences. Nevertheless, it's either way. Someone shook you up in some way, mentally or physically. Mental or physical abuse of words that affected your heart and soul. So I'm here to help you guys, and remember to stay on track day in, day out. Don't surround yourself with people. Don't let anyone hurt you, random people you don't know. Remember to breathe, and walk away and remove yourself from environments that cause that or can possibly inflict that, as well as remove yourself from people who inflict that. Unless it's like family, like of course you can't leave, but like at the same time you have to have conversations about boundaries at that point. Because if they're hurting you and that's your family, that's even worse than a random stranger, right? That's your own blood, like your bloodline that's hurting you. So you need to have a conversation, an adult conversation, without raising anyone's voice, without being obnoxious or calling out names or like attacking them for hurting you. It's about being patient with them, being calm and allowing and speaking with love. Even if they hurt you, speak with love, because they learn this way of communicating from their parents or from their experiences. So it's not even their fault either why that happened to them, why they did that to you. It's literally a bloodline thing. In other families, like I lived in the suburbs, so it was a white rich area. So I grew up with other families, and they didn't experience what I experienced. So I know we think it's normal, but it's not normal. And other families I've lived at, I've seen it. I'm here to tell you guys that there's actually happier families and happier bloodlines that don't treat or are mean or hit or angry or do bad things or mischievous things to each other. There's actually other races that have a higher or better way of communicating in a healthy way to their children. So I've seen it, and that's what I want for my children. Now you guys are working on that healing too, and you guys will do that same thing in your future as well. I love it. I love you guys so much. And now this next part, If you guys want to stay, we're now just ended Cozy Convos. If you guys want to stay and ask any questions, this will be a Q&A section.